What is going on, YouTube? So for the second time today, happy opening day for Major League Baseball. And today, I wanted to do my next top 10. Yesterday, I did my top 10 fantasy baseball busts. Day before, well, a couple days before that, the previous video before that was, I believe, top 10 fantasy baseball sleepers. So today, I wanted to continue my theme of the NFL draft and do the top 10 best players in the NFL draft. So I've already done my NFL draft big board rankings, and obviously that goes into a lot more detail about my rankings, but that was before the combine, that was before pro days, that was before individual workouts. Yeah, so I'm going to do my updated top 10. So start with a 5 outside, and at number 5, I've got the offensive tackle from Michigan State, Jack Conklin. So he is, to me, the third best offensive tackle in the draft. I think there's a clear-cut best 3 between him, Ronnie Stanley, and Laremy Tunsil. And I think each of them have proven that they're worth top 20 picks, all of them. And offensive line, I think, is extremely valuable in this draft, and I think that helps out his value even more. So number 4, I've got the Notre Dame offensive tackle previously mentioned, Ronnie Stanley. So Ronnie Stanley had a rough set of workouts. Combine was okay, and pro day was not great either. So it did drop his stock a little bit, I believe, in my original top 100 rankings. I had him at like number 4. And he dropped quite a bit. There's some players that have had really good pro days, really good workouts, and just boosted their stock way above his. So at number 3, I've got the defensive tackle from Louisville, Sheldon Rankins. So Sheldon Rankins is another guy that's seen his draft stock climb an enormous amount, really since... Anyway, really since combine, pro day, Senior Bowl. Senior Bowl was big for him too, I'm pretty sure. And like I said, clear-cut best defensive tackle in the draft to me right now. I had him at 12 in my last mock draft to the New Orleans Saints. So number 2, I've got the Ole Miss wide receiver, Laquon Treadwell. So I think his draft stock has kind of been as flat as any player in this draft. People just keep, for some reason, getting surprised that he runs a decently slow 40 compared to what you think he would be for being the number 1 receiver in the NFL draft, at least in most people's rankings, especially mine. And he runs like a 4.5 to a 4.6. Like that's his speed. He's not the speediest receiver, but he's a great possession receiver. He's got some of the best hands in the draft. He's extremely athletic. He can go up and get really any ball you need him to, and he's also a very precise route runner. So number 1, I've got the Memphis quarterback, Paxton Lynch. So in my last mock draft, I had the Philadelphia Eagles taking Paxton Lynch at 8. I don't think that any of the quarterbacks are going to make it out of the top 15, and I think each quarterback contributes their own unique skill set and own set of value, really more differently than any quarterback class I've seen in a while. Like Paxton Lynch, 6'7", one of the bigger guys in this quarterback class, and compared to Jared Goff, he's a little bit more athletic, has a little bit higher upside, but isn't as polished. And then compared to Carson Wentz, maybe not as athletic, can't spin the ball as quickly, but still probably has maybe a little bit less upside than Carson Wentz. But anyway, moving to the top 10. Number 10, I got the Clemson defensive end, Shaq Lawson. So Shaq Lawson has really proved his worth throughout all the pre-NFL draft workouts, combines, all that stuff. He played injured through the national championship, which I think says a lot about his character. He was honestly the best player on a very good Clemson defense and was rushing opposite Kevin Dodd. So I think if you compare Shaq Lawson with one of the better defensive ends, linebackers, whatever, in the NFL, then you're looking at a player that could probably get you 9 to 10 sacks a season. So at number 9, I've got the Ohio State running back, Ezekiel Elliott. So I had Ezekiel Elliott going at 21 in my last mock draft. I think this guy could fall anywhere from 5 to 25. It's hard to tell with running backs nowadays. He is the most talented running back in this class. He's got the best skill set, and I think any team that needs a running back should go ahead and scoop him up. Again, I had him at number 21 to the Redskins in my last mock draft, but I think he's definitely one of the top 10 most talented players in this class. So at number 8, I've got the Cal quarterback, Jared Goff. So Jared Goff has been bashed a little bit. I don't really know why. I like his skill set. I think he's the most polished quarterback in this class. I think he's the most NFL ready. Also probably has, or might be the most accurate quarterback in this class. Has decent arm strength, but he can also, I think he's pretty good stepping. I think he's pretty composed in the pocket. I think he can step up, make the throws he needs to. And I think he showed that he can play that he can play extremely well with a mediocre supporting cast around him. Cal did have some good wide receivers, but Kenny Lawler was pretty good, but as a whole, Cal just wasn't a very good team. So at number 7, I've got the Florida cornerback Vernon Hargreaves. I like Vernon Hargreaves. I have ever since he broke out 2 years ago. I had him ranked, I believe, as the number 1 cornerback before this, but Jalen Ramsey has stepped up, played huge, done great in workouts. Not to say Vernon Hargreaves hasn't, but maybe didn't have quite the snap in the hips, the leg strength, and some of the speed that a lot of scouts were hoping for, and he's dropped down draft boards because of it. So at number 6, I've got the freak athlete out of Oregon, the defensive end DeForest Buckner. So DeForest Buckner's never dropped out of my top 10, I don't think, in any of my mock drafts. My last mock draft, I had him falling, I believe, at 6 to the Baltimore Ravens, and I think that that'd be a great fit for him. I don't really understand all the boom or bust talk for DeForest Buckner. I guess he didn't show out extremely well his senior year, but he's just an athletic freak. There's not a whole lot of red flags there. He hasn't had like a whole lot of behavioral issues or anything, but I like what he brings to the table for whatever team he goes to. I don't think there's a chance he drops out of the top 10 in the NFL draft. So at number 5, I've got the North Dakota State quarterback Carson Wentz. So it seems like it's almost a done deal at this point that Carson Wentz is still going to go to the Cleveland Browns, even though they did sign RG3. I like what Carson Wentz can bring to the table for the Cleveland Browns or whatever team he really goes to. I think he's got the highest upside of any quarterback in this class. I think he spins the ball extremely well. He's very accurate. Like I said, he's a very athletic quarterback. And he's drawn comparisons to Andrew Luck. I'm not going to make that comparison. Really not even close yet. But I do think he's the best quarterback in the class. So number 4, I've got the UCLA linebacker Myles Jack. So Myles Jack might be the most versatile player in the class. Predominantly an inside linebacker, but can play a little bit at the outside linebacker spot. Could probably play D-end if he gained a little bit of weight. Also can play at the cornerback spot. Even played a little bit of tight end and running back while he was at UCLA. So one of the most athletic guys in this class, if not the most athletic. Like I said, probably the most versatile. The leg injury is a problem for some teams. He's been a little bit injury prone since he's been in college. Missed a lot of the 2015 season. But to me, he still doesn't drop out of probably the top 6. So at number 3, I've got the Ohio State defensive end Joey Bosa. I think I had Joey. I don't remember if I had Joey Bosa at 1 or 2 in my last set of big board rankings. But I do still think he's worth a top 4 pick. I think he will fall in the top 4, and I do think he's the most talented pass rusher in this class. The comparisons have fallen anywhere from J.J. Watt to Ryan Kerrigan, but I'll be honest, if he's either one of those guys or anywhere in between, that's still a fantastic turnout. Because some people are saying that he's just a Ryan Kerrigan, but let's be honest, Ryan Kerrigan's probably one of the top 15 pass rushers at linebacker in the NFL. So at number 2, I've got the Florida State cornerback and safety Jalen Ramsey. There's been talk of Jalen Ramsey falling anywhere from 1 to 3. Some people have been talking about him going at 1 to the Titans. I don't see it. I do think that he is one of the best corners to come out in probably the last decade and will be a fantastic corner safety wherever he plays. But I think his best fit is at number 3 to the Chargers. Again, best corner in the class in my opinion. I did have Hargreaves there before. I could see any one of them or both turning into superstars. I really like this cornerback class. I think it's extremely good, and I think it's extremely underrated as well. But I do like Jalen Ramsey, even though I got him ranked at number 2, where a lot of people probably have him ranked number 1 now. So at number 1, I've got the Ole Miss offensive tackle Laremy Tunsil. So I think Tunsil's one of the best tackles to come out in the last 10 years. There's been talk of him not being taken number 1. I think it's almost common sense at this point for the Titans to take him number 1 overall. His pro day was fantastic. Great explosiveness, athletic ability. Snap on the hips is there that you need. And I think he's one of the best. I think he is a generational talent at offensive tackle. A little bit of injury prone, or he was a little bit injury prone in college, but honestly not as bad as a lot of the guys that come out at offensive tackles that have the talent to be a top 10 player. But like I said, I think Laremy Tunsil's ready to go. He should be the obvious choice for the Titans, and I think he will be the number 1 overall pick. So that concludes my top 10, or really my updated top 10 NFL draft rankings. If you have not seen my last 2 days of my top 10s, if you are a fantasy baseball player, especially, again, happy opening day. I've said that a million times today. Then go check those out. They will be in the outro. The links will be in the link to the entire top 10 playlist will be in the description below, where I've done a lot of other NFL draft videos for this year. I'm going to put the link to my entire NFL draft 2016 playlist in the description below as well. That has my entire set of big board rankings, every position, and then my top 100 overall. And then also my mock draft that I did yesterday, or that I uploaded yesterday, and then also cover all my other mock drafts and stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, if you're interested in the NFL draft, got a ton of stuff that'll be posted in the description below, but that's pretty much it. See ya. Monday or Tuesday. So anyway, I wanted to do my top 10 fantasy baseball sleepers heading into 2016. So I've talked about this a little bit when I actually do my mock drafts and my live drafts. If you've not seen those, then definitely go check them out. I'll put the link to those in the description below. But anyway,